Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are learning prototype design pattern. So what is prototype design pattern? Prototype design pattern says that cloning of existing object instead of creating a new one. And while creating the new object, we can customize that clone object based on our requirement. So prototype pattern says rather than creating the copy of existing object, we can clone it from the existing object rather than creating the new one, and we can also customize as per our requirement. So this pattern should be follow. When we should follow this pattern, cost of creating new object is expensive and resource intensive. So we should follow this pattern where cost of creating the new object is expensive and resource intensive. So that is a basic specification and for the prototype design pattern. Instead of creating a new object, we can clone the object from the existing object. So what are the advantages of the prototype design? Let's go through it. The main advantage of the prototype design pattern are as follows. It reduces the need of subclassing. It hides the complexity of creating objects, since we are creating new object every time we are just cloning from the existing object, so it will hide the complexity of creating new objects. The client can get new object without knowing which type of object it will be. So client will easily get to know about the new object without knowing the type of the object it is. It let you add or remove the object at runtime. Uses the prototype. Now when we should use, so when the class are initialized at runtime, so basically we should use the prototype pattern whenever classes are initialized at runtime. When the cost of creating an object is expensive and complicated. So when we should use prototype design pattern, when the cost of creating the object is expensive and complicated. When do you want to keep the number of classes in application minimum, then we can use the prototype design pattern. And when the class application needed to be unaware of object creation and the representation. So when the client application needed to be unaware of object creation, the object is creating, and how the object is initialized. So in those cases, you can simply clone the object from the existing object, which will hide all the creation implementation details, and you will get the ready-made object. So these are the uses when we should use the prototype design pattern, and these are the advantages of using prototype design pattern. So let's see how we can implement the prototype design pattern. So we are going to create an interface of name prototype that will contain one method, which is get clone method of prototype type. Then we can create a concrete class like say employee record, which will implement a prototype interface that just clone the employee record object, which will just clone the employee record object. And then prototype demo class will be used this concrete class employee record. So let's go to the ID and see the example. So for the time being, I've just written the code. Let's go through it. We will, so as we discussed, we will see the we'll create a prototype which will have one method, which is get clone method. Okay, and now we will create a concrete class, which is employee record, which will implement the prototype interface, and we will override a get clone method uh, down here. Let's first see what all we have. So this is the employee record class, where we have employee ID, name, designation, salary, and address. We have two constructor. One is Noah constructor, and one is Ola constructor to set all the values. And then we have one method, so show record, which will show uh, all the details of the employee. And now we will override the get clone method. So in this method, what we have done, we have created a new object with the same value. We just call the all our constructor and with the same value. So get clone method will be call on a particular object, so that object's clone it will give us back. So that's the basically significance of this get clone method. So let's see the demo class, where main classes where we are reading the uh, reading reading the input from the CLI. We will get all the values like employee name, employee ID, employee designation, read from the command line argument, and then create the object even employee, and then we call show record method, which will show all the records of the current employee. And then now we will clone the record E1 and created one more record, employee record E2, and it will be as same as E1 only. And then we will call the show record on the E2 method, and it will just give the same values only because it is just clone of. So E2 is nothing but a clone of object E1. So here it will hide the complexity of creating the new object and the initialization of the new object. Just simply you just call e1.clone. It will give you the exact copy of same object e1, and e2 you will easily get, and then you can use e2 further. So that's the beauty of prototype design pattern, where it will hide the complexity of creating and initializing new objects. And we should use this object expensive when the object creation expensive and resource intensive. So that's all about prototype design pattern. If you have any doubts, please ask in the comment section. Like the video if you understand the prototype design pattern. Let me know if you want me to cover any more on this prototype design pattern. Share with your friends, subscribe to the, and happy learning. Thank you.